We begin tonight with rising concerns about rising water in Stillwater and along the Mississippi River as we officially turn the page to spring. We're going to have you look live now at a special meeting that's just beginning to get underway in Stillwater to provide information to residents and businesses about preparations and upcoming closures for a spring flood season that could challenge previous high water marks. Now, the talk of the town right now is whether it will compare to 2001. That is when the St. Croix River rose to nearly 690 feet above sea level. That was back when the lift bridge was still open to vehicle traffic, but the floodwaters actually forced it to close so that the city could construct a temporary levee. Now, the most recent spring flooding outlook from NOAA predicts a 73% chance of the river reaching or surpassing that very level. Of course, that is still just a forecast. Stillwater residents and downtown businesses have seen similar outlooks a few times in the past 22 years, and each time residents and outside volunteers have come together to make sure they're ready. Many in town will tell you they're more concerned, by the way, right now about some of the other towns along the Mississippi. So let's start with all of that, Jamie. That's a whole lot to unpack, but this is still kind of down the river a little ways, so to speak, right? So we want to talk about that outlook, but let's talk about, do we have anything more coming our way in terms of precipitation?
We do. We've been talking about what we have coming up for tomorrow, and that's going to be rain in the metro area primarily, snow across northern and west central Minnesota, and those concerns there are completely evident and certainly warranted as this is going to continue to add to this enormous snowpack that we have. There's a look at the snowfall totals we're expecting to see. And around, like I said, around the metro area, probably not much in terms of snowfall, but we could be talking about a 1/4 inch of rain, maybe upwards of a 1/2 inch rain in some areas. That also adds to that bucket, and we're talking about the flood potential coming along with it. But beyond that, we've been talking about some of the outlooks. That there is more like we've talked about earlier, that coin flip.
Right. That outlook is right behind us right here. It's kind of hard to make sense of it if you're just looking at colored boxes. But the purple boxes that you see, those are along the Mississippi. That's Stillwater, some of the other ones. That's 50% or greater chance of major flood stage, right?
Yes, and that's the forecast. So these are highlighting those spots where they believe with the snow melt, any runoff, those are going to be the spots that have the best chance of that flooding, that major flooding. And this is more or less that ounce of prevention, pound to cure. This is the heads up, hence it being a forecast. So again, this gives people the idea of what is coming and gives everyone, whether it's city administrators or engineers or just residents, that time to prepare for what could be coming down the road.
It's hard to think about preparing when we all look outside the window right now. There's snow, there's ice everywhere, even down in Stillwater. It's not at that point yet. So what do we have to be thinking about as we think about a warm up? We all want warmer temperatures, but do we need to be rooting for average here?
I think what we really need to root for is just a slow warm up. We want everything in terms of melting to be gradual at this point. Now, we have a few things to our advantage. We have a very shallow frost line. We're not talking about, we didn't get that deep freeze going. We have lakes, streams, and rivers that were below average with the drought situation. So we have places for the water to go, whether it's into the ground, into the lakes and streams. But if we melted what's been record snowfall very quickly, it's going to run off very quickly, and then we have big problems.
Yeah, and just real quickly, do we look like we're going to be getting a really wet month ahead, or do we know at this point?
Things aren't looking excessively wet. We're looking closer to average, but again, we're going to be in that spot where it could be a little bit above average, maybe a little bit below average, but there's no strong signal that says we got to watch out because we have a lot of precipitation coming our way. So that's good news for us right there. In terms of temperature, again, like I said, the biggest thing, a gradual melt would be ideal.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with you on the full forecast coming up. Thanks, Jamie. Now back to Stillwater. Ahead of tonight's meeting, the city announced that it will close Riverside Parks and begin sandbagging on Wednesday. The lift bridge will also soon close to pedestrians. So today, we sent photojournalist David Porter down there to talk to a few people while the trails were still open. He caught up with a mix of people who offered mixed reactions to this first day of spring.
It's great. It's a beautiful day, actually. Fun to get out, and I walk my dog most days down here. Been doing it all winter. So today feels actually quite mild.
The sun is nice, and being able to be on the sidewalks and go bike riding without ice everywhere is nice for the kids.
It's freezing. Perfection.
It's a little bit colder for us, but it's very nice. We are just visiting from Florida. We decided to spend a couple of days visiting some friends here in Minnesota. She recommended to visit over here.
Well, I like that there's a bunch of snow around that I can play in. Make a snowman sometimes and throw a bunch of snowballs at my brother.
This has been an extraordinary snow year. I've been joking with my wife, it's going to be mid-April, end of April before the snow is gone.
It's gonna take a while for it to melt. And then there's no snow, and then it'll be so warm, and then it was summer.
I'm gonna go to the bridge over there.
We got to enjoy the leftover snow.
Do you wish there was more snow or less snow?
A bit more snow.
We don't feel that way.
Thank God we're here then. It was a good day to come here.
And thanks again to photojournalist David Porter, who you heard there at the end with the commentary. By the way, he's the type of Minnesotan who wears shorts for about 9 months out of the year. So if he's even sick of the snow, you know it's been a bad one.